Welcome back to Old Charles, the channel where history meets treasure in your pocket. In this video, we'll dive deep into the 1965 U.S. quarter, its background, key features, and most importantly, how much it's worth today. So don't miss a second. To understand why the 1965 quarter is so special, we need to go back in time. Before 1965, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver. But due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint made a big change. Starting in 1965, quarters were made with a copper-nickel clad composition instead of silver. That's right, no more silver quarters for circulation after 1964 star. This makes the 1965 quarter historic. It was the very first year of the copper-nickel quarter, ushering in a whole new era of coinage. The 1965 quarter features the iconic design by John Flanagan, which has been used on quarters since 1932. George Washington's portrait, the word liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," the year 1965, a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, arrows, and olive branches beneath the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. Notice something missing? That's right, there's no mint mark asterisk. All 1965 quarters were minted in Philadelphia, which didn't use mint marks at the time. The coin's new composition was 91.67% copper asterisk asterisk 8.33% nickel asterisk asterisk. It weighs 5.67 grams, with a diameter of 24.26 millimeters. Unlike silver quarters, the 1965 quarter has a visible copper edge. That's one of the easiest ways to tell the difference between a silver and clad quarter. So, how much is a 1965 quarter worth today? Let's break it down. Most 1965 quarters are still worth face value, just 25 cents, because over 1.8 billion were made. Coins in mint state, MS, can fetch between $1 and $20, depending on quality and luster. These can be worth $50 to over $200, especially if they are certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Here's where things get exciting. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on silver planchets. These rare error coins have sold for $5,000 to $10,000 plus at auction. If you think you found one, weigh the coin. A real silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams, while a clad one is only 5.67 grams. That small difference could be worth thousands. If you're a coin collector or just starting out, here are a few tips for spotting a valuable 1965 quarter. Look for high-quality, uncirculated examples. Weigh the coin to check for a silver error. Examine the details. Look for sharp lines and full strike. Store it safely in a coin flip or slab to preserve its condition. Get it professionally graded if you suspect it's rare. Graded coins with a high MS rating or verified errors will always fetch higher prices. So next time you see a 1965 quarter, don't toss it aside. It might just be a hidden gem in your collection. And remember, every coin tells a story, and sometimes it can tell a valuable one. To fully appreciate the 1965 Liberty Quarter, we need to look at the historical backdrop of the 1960s in America. 4 decades prior, U.S. quarters were made with 90% silver, a beautiful metal that gave the coins their shine and value. However, by the early 1960s, the price of silver was rising rapidly, causing a serious problem for the U.S. Mint. Many people started hoarding silver coins because their metal value was becoming more than their face value. This led to a nationwide coin shortage, and it became clear that something had to change. In response, the U.S. government passed the Coinage Act of 1965, signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson. This landmark legislation removed silver from the dime and quarter dollar for the first time since the coins were introduced. Instead, a new copper-nickel clad composition was introduced, designed to look similar to silver but at a much lower cost. Starting in 1965, the new quarters no longer contained silver but were made with layers of copper and nickel bonded together. This change ensured that coins would stay in circulation, no longer hoarded for their metal value. The design of the quarter didn't change. It still featured the famous portrait of George Washington on the obverse side, an image first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. The reverse side continued to showcase the majestic eagle, symbolizing freedom and strength. Interestingly, 1965 quarters were only minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and no mint mark appears on the coin. This was part of an effort to simplify the transition to the new composition. So, the 1965 Liberty Quarter represents a major turning point in American coinage history, marking the end of silver in everyday coins and the beginning of a new era. Today, while the 1965 quarter may look ordinary, it holds a unique place as the first clad quarter ever made, and that's why collectors keep a close eye on this coin. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is king, and the 1965 Liberty Quarter is no exception. The condition of your coin directly impacts its value, sometimes drastically. Coins are graded on a scale ranging from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70, with many intermediate levels. Here's a quick rundown of what to look for in your 1965 quarter. If your quarter shows heavy wear, most details will be faint or missing. The date might be hard to read, and the eagle's feathers and Washington's face will be mostly smooth. In this condition, the coin is worth roughly face value, about 25 cents. Coins in this range still show some wear, but most major details remain visible. The date is clear, and the eagle's feathers and Washington's hair have some definition. These coins might be worth slightly more than face value to collectors, usually between 30 cents to a few dollars. These coins are in near-perfect condition with little to no signs of wear. You'll notice full details, sharp edges, and original luster. These quarters are much more desirable and can be worth anywhere from $1 up to $20 or more depending on the grade. For collectors looking to invest, coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC add an extra layer of trust. A high-grade 1965 quarter certified by these companies can command premium prices, sometimes hitting $50 or more if the coin is exceptionally well preserved. Finally, remember that condition matters most, but rarity counts too. A high-grade error coin, like a silver planchet strike from 1965, could be worth thousands, regardless of minor wear. So, when assessing your 1965 quarter, handle it carefully, look closely at the details, and consider professional grading if you think it's special. A well-preserved coin will always be worth more than a worn one.